All right, everybody. I hope that you guys are still on fire because it's the second day of the second Digital Media and Publishing Summit, January 2022. And we already have speakers and panelists and the discussions. We already have Mas Fikri Bowo, Mas Muhammad Rifki, Pak Niranjan, Ibu Agustin, dan juga Mbak Dewi. And for the next panel discussions, of course, we have three panelists who are going to talk about the advertising in the pandemic, how the companies used COVID-19 as a marketing tool. Because when COVID was still new and confusing, many were unsure about how to respond. How corporate advertising sought to define the pandemic in ways that made companies and their products an essential part of whatever the solution might turn out to be. So in this panel discussion, we'll hear about how brands and advertising agencies are addressing the change by evolving their strategies and adapting ad creatives to meet this unprecedented moment. Okay, so we have three panelists here. I want to introduce them to you, but before that, I want to remind you once again about the housekeeping rules here. Please do not use an abusive or offensive words in the chat. And for all participants, remember to poll in every session in order to get points. And also you can check your own leaderboard to see your score. All right. And next, don't forget to visit the booths because we have any booths there. Go check it out. And to interact with the speakers, you can go to the lounge and visit the speakers networking table. And all the participants can do video calls and see one another. You can even chat with one another. So go get the opportunity to meet and to connect with one another. For any panel discussion, you can use the Q&A feature here. Just check it out here. All right, so let's begin to the next panel discussion. We have three panelists. And first, we have Sabrina Farhana, a Managing Director, MEDIARūMU Indonesia. Mbak Sabrina Farhana is an Indonesia Arabian woman that currently the CEO of PT Teknosolusi MEDIARūMU, called MEDIARūMU Digital. Born in 1995, she is a mother, very young leader, and founder in just 26 years of age. Awesome. She was a business development in Metro TV, Breakout from Japan, and Liberate from German. She is passionate in technology industry, psychology, especially about human behavior, and she loves to craving new ideas and make the executions. Besides that, she loves to maintain and upgrade her skills to put them in the right position. Oh, awesome. Next, for the panelists, the second panelist, we have Anna Dres, a director, advertising sales and brand solutions, Tencent Philippines. She experienced head of digital advertising sales and marketing with a demonstrated history of working in the entertainment industry. She's skilled in partnerships, partner management, strategic planning, theatrical promotions, branded content and marketing. CMO Asia Woman Leader of the Year, Philippines 2021. So, awesome women joining us today. Wow. And the third panelist of this panel discussion is Mas Hardian Prabowo. Mas Hardian Prabowo, a brand activation manager, Global Tobacco Company Indonesia. Mas Hardian Prabowo started his career in FMCG industry with a focus on building a purposeful brand that creates a social impact. He believes that to be a great brand builder, your brand must stand for something, balancing social and commercial values. His career rewards his life in so many ways until he found that he needed more from work to be satisfied. Mas Hardian is passionate about the intersection of business and social impact and gets especially excited about empowering and helping youth to prepare their skills and future career in FMCG industry through Life at FMCG, a social enterprise that was founded in April 2021. Mas Hardian Prabowo has more than 14 years of experience in some big FMCG companies such as PT HM Sampurna, Nestle Indonesia, and Ultrajaya. He has multi-experience in strategic brand communication, marketing management and consumer activation, and sales management for big brands such as Sampurna Hijau. So yeah, I want to say hello to our panelists here. I want to show them on stage. Alright. Sudah ada Mbak Sabrina dan juga Mas Hardian. Hello, good morning.
Halo.
Hi, Mas Hardian.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Melissa.
Hai, kabar baik? Semuanya sehat?
Baik.
Sehat.
Very well. Wow. We're so happy to have you guys here because we're going to talk about interesting topics here. How the advertising in the pandemic, how the companies use COVID-19 as a marketing tool. So, shall we begin the panel discussions? The screen is yours. Silahkan Mas Hardian dan Mbak Sabrina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Mbak Melissa. Ya, salam kenal. Jadi di sini ada aku, Sabrina. Aku founder dan CEO dari MEDIARūMU, dan ada Mas Hardian.
Salam kenal juga semuanya.
Gimana Mas Hardian? Iya, salam kenal semuanya. Jadi kita mau ngebahas tentang topik advertising in the pandemic ya.
Yep.
Jadi aku mungkin lebih dari segi agency dan Mas Hardian mungkin dari segi brand gitu. Gimana sih company itu menggunakan COVID sebagai marketing tool untuk kita tuh tetap bisa berkembang, untuk kita tetap melakukan teknologi dan inovasi walaupun ada COVID saat ini gitu. Mungkin bisa dimulai dari Mas Hardian.
Okay, thank you.
Untuk sharing dulu, gimana Mas Hardian?
Okay, I think we need to use English because there is some requests. Okay, so thank you, Sabrina, for introducing me. So basically, thank you everyone for being here with us today. I'm so pleased to discuss, as Melissa mentioned, it's very exciting topic, how company use COVID-19 as a marketing tools during this pandemic. And I'm Hardian Prabowo as one of the brand activation manager at one of the global tobacco companies in Indonesia. Would like to share some point of view. First, I think it's very interesting topic when we ask how do organizations execute their advertising during the pandemic condition. I think for sure the way brand advertise will adapt to the consumer behaviors changes. Wherever the consumer behavior has shifted, advertising span has just adjusted to the response. And during the pandemic, digital in-home media for sure usage went up, and the online environment is more favorable to a direct response campaign that's encouraging quick purchasing by our consumer. But in this moment, I would like to emphasize the fundamental things, how the brand's supposed to respond in this tough condition through advertising from the brand's perspective. So I think the first thing first, COVID-19 is not a marketing opportunity. That's very important. It is not something that we could capitalize on for the marketing activities. So as a brand, we do not recommend that the brand opportunistically link themselves to health care during the pandemic. Why? Because I think the big message for marketers is to understand what consumer want to hear from us, and then trying to provide a real solution, not trying to only sell our product. And then having a mentality of the generosity and care is very important. And in this case, brand must be honest, I think, and don't use misleading claims about your brands in this pandemic condition. But then again, maybe the question is how. I think it's back to ourselves as a brand, as a marketers. Ask your brand, what do I do? How do I say? And how do I act towards this pandemic? And then just back to our brand value, because that's the core of our activities. Because how your brand can really provide a support and also solution this tough condition to our consumer. So don't make this pandemic become an opportunistic condition. And also, during the pandemic, the consumer want the brands truly understand that we are in this tough condition, and we can helping them, and we can get them through this condition. So our advertising from brand perspective must show how our brands can provide solution to this pandemic. Perhaps we wonder, is it about the storytelling of our brands on advertising? In my point of view, it's not only about how good our story that we make during this pandemic, but the most important is how brands can walk the talk towards our value, translate that into action, and then becoming solution for this tough condition for our consumer. So in a glance, I think the brand must be solving, not only selling on their advertising. I think that's my point of view, Sabrina.
Okay, thank you, Mas Hardian. So I will share about my point of view, because
Yeah,
basically I built MEDIARūMU. Yeah, I'm a
yeah,
founder, and I built before COVID. It's like 6 months before COVID happening.
mm,
So it's like everyone is struggling on their business, you know.
mm,
But basically, I come into a digital,
mm-hmm.
which is all the TV nowadays is gonna die soon, and
Yeah,
everything is
yeah,
coming to digital.
yeah,
So what I saw about the pandemic, it's kind of different things, because I saw the pandemic is, sometimes we can say, it's a blessing. It's not
yeah,
just the COVID makes the businesses broke or everything, but it's such a blessing. Now everything is on digital. We can have a meeting online every day. We
yeah,
don't have to meet a person. We don't get traffic. So it's kind of such a blessing for us in digital things. Why? Because we use this as a tool in marketing strategy to grow our company. So I think pandemic is about adaptation and also innovation. What we can do in digital, what you can do in online, because pandemic is just like, it's more than a religion. It's more than everything. It changed everything, not just about business, right, Hardian? You cannot go to mosque. You cannot go to a place for make a pray or
yeah,
anything. Pandemic is changing everything, not just a business. But now we already adapt this kind of pandemic life. Yeah, we already adapt in our digital life, in our business life,
yeah.
in everything. How we make the companies and how we make the campaign for our brands,
Agree.
everything, even the event. Sometimes we do, yeah, before the pandemic the event is offline. We
Yeah,
have to waiting for the tickets. We have to waiting in the queue line. Everything is very hectic. But now you can see the event online. You just sit in your room. You
yeah,
just have yeah, I think it's such a blessing. So what we can read about the pandemic is just not about the bad things, but sometimes there is so many blessings that we already adapt to our daily life because of
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah. Yeah, agree with that, because during the pandemic, for example, perhaps for the some segment that really have not having a digital savvy to the technology during the pandemic, they to be forced to understand about the digital, and it's one of the privilege during the pandemic. I think, yeah, for the some brands who targeting the for example low to middle class segment. Yeah, I think they also want, as you mentioned, it's a good penetration to us to be more adapt to the technology itself. Yeah.
Yes, I'm agree also because what we saw about I think everyone in our business in digital marketing in every business line have to see another point of view about the pandemic or about the COVID things because when we saw it's a negative, it's always be a negative. Of course, it's a
Yeah.
disease, right?
Yeah.
But basically, when we see in another point of view,
Yeah.
it changed our life, it's changed the marketing, it changed how we shopping online.
Yeah.
Every people now is just using their phone to
Yeah.
shopping, to do a groceries, to do a meeting online, to do school online. Everything is on digital.
Yeah.
So so I think it's just like this is a new life. I saw a COVID or pandemic is a new life for us, for our generation, for our kids, for everyone, for every woman, for every wife. I think it's really change our life, right?
Yeah. Agree. Agree. Agree.
It,
Agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I because in our I'm an agency, so every day so a data, yeah, for the
Mm-hmm.
brand, for
Mm-hmm.
the strategic, for the company, everything. So I always saw the data,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a tools for the data to store the data. And then what I saw is like everyone is having a higher rates, yeah, for the shopping online is very high nowadays.
Yeah.
They want to buy everything is in e-commerce. They want to buy everything is, they don't want to go, they don't want to go. that that's already a habit, right?
Yeah.
That's become a habit that they don't want to go anywhere. They can buy anything in their phone, they can do anything, they can have a money from their phone, they want to spend money in their phone, they want to do
Yeah.
anything. Everything is online. So I think what a blessing.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, we cannot utilize all the digital platform like
Yeah.
now we use it,
Yeah.
right? We never, I mean, we already have a Google Meet like from 2006 or 2007. Yeah, when Google already have it, we already have like Zoom, Google Meet, everything. But no one use it. Why? Because they like to have an offline meeting, doing the traffic, meet a, meet a person, like that. It's like a habit, everyone doing meet offline. But after the pandemic, now we're using Zoom, we're using Google Meet, we're using AirMeet, we're using everything. And it really helped us doing every our daily life, our daily habit,
Yeah.
our daily meeting with Hardian.
Yes, I'm agree with you that I think the pandemic is not only changing how our company operates, but also fundamentally it
Yes,
changed our consumer behavior permanently. I think, yeah,
of
permanently because
course.
it cannot go back. But yeah, for example,
It cannot
that
go back.
yes, for example, like our consumer will be more have spending time on screen instead of like they go to the offline shopping, for example, and then they have a more price sensitivity due to this current condition because they have, for example, have to save more money for healthy issue, for example, so they more sensitive
Mm.
in terms of the pricing, and then also I think. One of the one of the significant changes is like our consumer today is more value to the brands that really care about them. So that's one from the brand's perspective. That's one of the that's the beauty of changes in terms of the consumer behavior. So we are when we are talking about the digital activities, I think the mindset is not only about the shifting our offline purchase journey to online purchase, but from the brand's perspective, we also need to balance between brand building and also converting that to the brand purchase. Because I think many brands that focus, yeah, when during pandemic, okay, the tension is going to online purchase, going to marketplace and the blah and the blah. But I think we also don't forget to do the brand building through the online communication itself. What do you think about that?
Agree. Yes, very agree. Because, okay, sometimes I always think about as an audience,
Yes.
as an audience, what I want from the brand. So
Yeah.
that's what I built, the strategic,
Yeah.
I pretend like I am the audience, what I want, what I really want. Basically, nowadays, what I saw as an audience in Indonesia is
Mhm.
everyone is really want to have an entertaining. They're
Mhm.
very stressful. They
Yeah.
they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They're stuck in the work from home. They stuck in
Yeah.
the cafe just to work.
Yeah.
Everyone is stressed. Everyone is like need some entertaining. Everyone it's that's why memes nowadays very very. Everyone just need to laugh. Everyone
Yeah.
just need
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Everyone just need a happiness for themselves, for
Yeah.
their mental health.
Yeah.
Because for the Google keyword, I
Yeah.
saw all is about mental health. All is about they need to laugh. They need to
Yeah.
how to meet people. They don't know how to meet people again because it's already online.
Yeah.
It's very awkward to meet a person sometimes
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what I have to say.
Some.
I
Yeah.
don't know what to I don't know what to do. I don't know what to talk to.
Sometimes feeling
I
insecure.
feel that. Yeah,
Don't trust anyone anymore.
yeah, and sometimes I also feel that because
Yeah.
yeah, we not meet people in a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's that's what I as that I think that's the problem, yeah. From the pandemic things, in the behavior of for the
Mm.
audience. So
Yeah.
what I want as an audience, about the brand is give me an entertaining, give
Mm.
me something that I can laugh, you know,
Mm. Mm.
give me a story that I can, you know, like a movies like Layangan Putus. It's I don't know why everyone why that movies is very happening.
Yeah.
At some point, I really don't know, but
Yeah.
and when I see another point of views, I talk to someone, I observe why they love these movies. Why? Because it's entertaining. It makes them have an emotional things. It makes them angry. It makes them really into the movies. So I think okay. So nowadays everyone is really craving for the entertaining.
Yeah.
They're really craving. They really need something to make them fun.
Yeah. Yep.
To make them happy. I think that's what the audience need from the brand
Yep.
nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Really
just
agree.
the info, not just the news, not just a brand education or something like that. It's too hard for them because for the mentality, all they need is just something to have fun.
Yeah. Agree.
They just need the fun. That's it.
Agree. I'm
That's
agree.
what I saw as an
Yes.
audience.
Yes.
That's
I'm
an
agree with
audience.
you. That's why, from the brand's perspective, I think really understanding our consumer journey is very important. As you mentioned, perhaps to buy some product, the journey is not directly okay. Just make the journey our consumer directly buy the product. But perhaps we need to give them some
Mm,
entertainment first, and then give some interaction
yes.
with them, and then maybe we close with the purchase intention. Because I think what I'm facing during this pandemic, once the pressure everything is goes to online channel, the brands need to think, okay, the channel is only online platform, but we need to really understand what our consumer doing on this online platform. I mean, perhaps we need some channels on this online platform, and then we need to really address very specific, very customized and personalized based on their journey on that platform. For example, like many
Mm,
of Indonesian person, for example, when they want to buy the clothes, basically they do some reviews on marketplace, they do some reviews on the website, but actually they
yes.
will buy the product offline store, just buy the product, because our consumer will think that, I think when I buy the clothes it will be perfectly feel it would be perfectly when I go to the offline store. That's why brands
Sure.
really need to understand, when we use the channels, we need to understand, okay, what occasion our consumer has on that channel. I think that's a very important. Yeah.
Yes. It's like the now I saw that the marketing is like going online to offline.
Yes. Yes.
So now everyone before they going to the mall or offline store, they will research
Yeah.
what they want to do.
Yes.
They already have a plan. When
Yeah.
I go to this place, what I want to do is blah 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 blah. So they will do the research. So
Yep.
if you want to do the online to offline marketing, it's such a good strategy.
Yep.
because they will research first before they're going to offline store. They don't have they don't want to spend a long time in an offline store or in a mall to just looking. No,
Yeah.
it's not like that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
They come to the mall, they come to the offline store, they already know what they want to do,
Yep.
they already know what they want to buy.
Yep.
So they I think now if you want to do like online to offline is very good strategy.
Yep. Agree.
It's very good
Agree.
strategy.
Agree. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
the omni-channel strategy is very critical nowadays. But I think one of the challenge when we do implement omni-channel is beside understanding our consumer journey, I think how we read the data. Because when we have has a different stage on consumer journey, we need to understand what the data say and then what we can respond to it. And I think it's not an easy thing, I guess, in brands, because if there is some changes, also we need to respond that quickly. Again, yeah, in online we need to respond everything quickly, right? But again, we need also time to
Yes.
prepare for some production, prepare to the journey itself. I think that's one of the challenges that the brand are facing right now. But I'm totally agree with you that currently what consumer facing is not only having the journey on offline, for example, but offline and online becoming so seamless. That's one of the interesting part doing something in brands in terms of designing the consumer journey that leading them to our product purchase.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
And I want to know about in your industry.
yep,
It's not an easy, right,
yeah,
Hardian? I mean,
yeah,
like it's a tobacco.
yeah,
Even though it's not pandemic, it's kind of hard to sell the tobacco, right?
yeah,
Because you cannot like hard selling up for
yeah.
the tobacco. So, what is your challenge in this pandemic for doing the marketing in your industry?
Okay.
Very interesting for me.
Yep, I think that one of the big challenge in my industry that we cannot like directly selling our product on digital. We need to ensure that
Mm,
the selling point is relevant to adult smoker, for example. So we have a very
mm,
restricted regulation. So what we do in online channel is mostly to brand building that hopefully can lead them to having good awareness to our brand. So when once they visit store, uh, uh, they will have experience with our product. So I think in the industry tobacco, once talking about offline to online, it's more to brand building
mm.
because that most our purchasing points is to in the offline touch point. It's not in online in my case, yeah. But I think if we are
Yes.
talking other products, there must be combination. Once we talking about the purchase point, it's also need to be online and also need to be offline. Yeah, I think yeah that's very challenging but interesting, interesting for me because
Yes.
because yeah during the pandemic everything goes online and online means we need to change everything in very quick respond that quickly while on the other side we need time,
Adaptation.
yeah, adaptation and then also to prepare ABCD. I think it's very challenging. And I think beside the talking about the omni-channel itself, I think one of the most challenging thing during the pandemic, once we have the advertising strategy, is creativity itself. Because as we know that once we want to make
Wow,
the
that's the
TVC
point.
commercial, like
Agree.
we don't have any talents, there is no
Very agree.
crew, there is no studio open, and then
It's
what we can do
not-
then? While we still to maintain, we need to
I
maintain
feel that. I feel
our
that.
awareness, and I think that's very challenging in brand teams. Perhaps
Yeah,
do
it's
you?
not it
Yeah,
in our industry, right?
yeah,
It's not just your brand name. It's of course for the
yeah,
agency, for the production, for everyone in marketing industry.
yeah,
It's really such it kind of as a creative things you have to think twice.
yeah,
You have to think twice about the creativity. What you have
yeah.
to do to make this entertaining, to make this still have a good video production
Yes,
with only two talents, with only to videographer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because even in the studio, there is only like, yeah, there is a maximum person, right? Maybe
Yes.
just
Yes.
10 people or 15 people. So everything is going like, but for me, that's why I always adapt the things. For me, the pandemic is a blessing
Mm-hmm.
because if there is no pandemic, I think we're not doing this today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not doing what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So I think there is so many things that we adapt from the pandemic life, and and that's why I say that it makes us more it makes us more creative, it makes us more intelligent, it makes us more educated and everything, because you have to struggling,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to leave the old values behind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to have more innovation, what kind
Agree.
of a new technology like NFT, like all metaverse and everything. So you have to be more adapt with the situation.
Yep.
So for me, it's really changing trends and changing life, right?
Yeah. Agree.
And it's a,
Yeah.
I think all the business owner like me have to think that the pandemic is a blessing. Don't think it's a disease, or please don't think it's like a bad things. Because if you think that's a bad thing, you'll be crazy.
Agree. Agree.
You'll be what you have today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's not that hard because what I built is a digital agency.
Yeah.
When everyone is going to digital, when in the pandemic everything is on digital, and what I built is digital agency for 360. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing everything on digital. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing offline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing for me, but not for all the people that doing has a business
Online.
owner, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When they have a conventional business, I know it's hard, right?
Yeah. Agree.
It's a
Agree.
blessing
Agree.
for me that, yeah, I mean it's such a, maybe it's luck or I don't know, but actually I'm built MEDIARūMU when I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant.
Uh-huh.
It's like 7 months pregnant, and then I made MEDIARūMU, and then 6 months after I made MEDIARūMU, it's pandemic happening. But we already have the clients, we already have the brands, and all the brands budget from the television is come to digital. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, what's happening? But basically, yeah, yeah, I said alhamdulillah, because I think when the pandemic happening, all the television budget, all the billboard, all her budget, everything,
Coming to
all the
digital.
budget is come to digital. But what you have to do, all the
Yes.
KPI sales, all the KPIs, blah blah blah. Okay, okay, wait a minute, it's like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because all the budget is come to digital, but the
Yeah.
KPI is still the same, right? The
Yeah.
KPI is still the same. What they
Yeah.
need is, I want to cost per sales, I want the sales, I want the install, I want the acquisition. Okay, okay, I did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's still, yeah, it's a blessing, and sometimes it's still like a challenge also, in
Yeah.
digital agency. Yeah,
Agree.
right, because we have so many KPIs. With what we're doing is just this kind of app in your phone, in your
Yeah.
mobile desktop,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all the KPI is still the same, like the
Agree.
television, like the OHA. So
Yeah.
what in digital agencies, like, you have to think more hard, more, it's more than before,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
before still OHA, still television, still radio, and in digital they just, yeah, just awareness lah, just for the consideration, okay, but just awareness, it's okay, at least I have an Instagram, at least I have a social media,
Yeah.
yeah, at least I have an ads. They don't think too much about the digital things.
Yeah.
They just look like digital is just awareness, just the things we have in television, we have in billboard, we have in, so they don't really look at digital things.
Yeah.
But when the pandemic happening, what they saw is just on digital. They cannot do in
Yeah.
television, they cannot do in OHA or billboard. So they have very specific KPI, very specific objective. We have to achieve this KPI. Why don't we achieve this KPI? Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all that kind of things really makes, I think, all the digital agencies is kind of Stressful, yeah, maybe, but that is my passion, yeah, because
Yeah.
I really love this kind of job. I really love to observe about the and so I think it's my passion. So I don't see this as a stressful things, but I
Yeah.
think for all the digital agency in Indonesia, it's kind of more stressful. It's kind of more stressful
Yeah, the pressure goes
because
to the
the KPI,
digital.
yes, of course. Oh, the brand is like, this is not creative. The creativity is a subject. It's subject. Yeah,
Yeah,
like everyone has kind of a different thoughts about the creative, right?
agree.
Like maybe in your team, Hardian, maybe in your team say this is such a good creative, but for you, no, it's like a very boring.
Yeah,
I don't see this as a good thing, right? The creative is something that we cannot measure. It's
agree.
different, like paid ads or digital media buying, right? we
Agree.
can we can measure like how much the cost per install, how much they install, how much the CTR or everything. But for the creative, it's something that we cannot measure. It's, is this a good creative, or is it a bad creative? Is it a boring creative, or what makes a good creative for the audience, you know?
Yeah,
And
agree.
for me, as a digital agency, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we are learning every day. We are learning every day
Mm-hmm.
to get to the audience,
Mm-hmm.
because what I saw is like creativity is not something that we can measure. There is
Mm-hmm.
no a good creative or bad creative, or
Agree.
I don't. There is no measuring for the creativity. But the creativity, I think it's about how to touch a human, how to touch your human, how to touch your audience.
Yeah,
Not you, not touching by the brand, but by human as a human, how to touch them. So for me, the creativity is just how you can touch your audience, how you can have a human talk with your audience,
yeah,
how to be their friends, you know, with the you your creative, because that's something that you cannot measure, right?
agree. Agree. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Talking about the
Yeah,
creativity is about art. I mean, there is no wrong, there is no right. It's about the taste of someone, right? But
it's
I,
what it is.
but I think the most critical is how we balancing between the creativity and also the data, as you mentioned. Because when we do something on digital, we need to deliver something right in terms of the creativity. I mean, it represent our brand persona, and on the other side it's also relevant to our consumer and it needs the data. So I think as a brand we need to balancing about the creativity and also the data usage itself. See, I think, yeah, because I have a funny story related to your story that, yeah, during the pandemic we found some difficulties to create something creative, yeah, because at the time when I have TV commercial, there is a lot limitation. There is PPKM in Indonesia, and then
Yeah,
from the company policy, the employees cannot go outside, just stay at home, working from home. But on the other side, we need to supervise the production of TVC. That's the funny thing. Yeah, we just do it by virtual, but somehow it's like not like perfectly fit, but we push
yeah,
to, yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But it would be
yeah,
nice if we can comment directly, right, on the venue once we are making the TVC commercials. Yes, I think that's one of the funny story. Another thing is related to the online itself. I'm agree with you that everything the pressure goes to the online, and we ask more our creative agency, especially online, to do more quicker, and then also to be more price. To be a more think about the measurement, and then come back to us, respond us quickly. I think that's a very challenging. I know that's hard, but that's that's the beauty of pandemic, I think. But
that's the beauty of pandemic.
yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because nothing that you can measure, right? It's
yeah,
only in digital you have to be measured, and
yes,
you're more focused on digital because,
yeah,
yeah, in the pandemic every brand is more focused on digital.
yeah,
They selling in digital, like even though one of my client is like Porsche,
Yeah.
it's okay if I talk about the brand. Yeah, it's. I think we can learn about the storytelling. I mean, about the success stories campaign that we can learn.
Yeah.
I'm doing the sport car campaign, yeah, in digital, and we are also surprisingly that we got leads from
Mm.
LinkedIn ads. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
for the car that is very very expensive,
Yep.
and it's not just one lead, 10 leads
Wow.
for 1 month
Wow.
for a sport car. As a digital agency, we also surprised. It's in
Yeah.
pandemic. It's like 3 or 4 months ago. It's on November.
Mm.
So I think, oh my God, really? E- Even though I'm also surprised
Mm.
when we saw the data, we saw
Mhm.
the lead, and we got the impact from the brand, and they say, oh my God, we got the buyer
Mm. Mm.
from the ads. And I think it's also because the pandemic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like before the pandemic, like people buying a sport car with the expensive sport car in from the ads. I didn't have I don't think that they will buy something very expensive from the ads. And then we
Yeah.
panelists is like, okay, they really buy. And I think because of the pandemic, they don't want to go to they didn't go to the showroom. For me, if I want to buy a car, I go to showroom, I'm trying the car, I
Yes.
I I like it, and then I buy it, right? You have to try first, right? It's
Yeah.
expensive things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Agree.
not just buying a bag, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's buying a car. It's a sport car.
Yeah.
But in this pandemic, no, they don't know how to spend their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the SAS
Yeah.
and A plus, they don't want to spend money. They have so much money they want to spend.
Yeah.
So I want to buy it
Yeah.
from the ads. Wow,
Yeah.
it's because of pandemic, right? And then I was like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
because they just spend ads like maybe it's like for 20, 50 million or 100 million a month,
Mhm.
and they get 10 leads for buying their sport car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's because of pandemic, I guess.
Yeah.
I think if it's not pandemic, that habit will not happening, right? It's not logic. It's not logic.
Yeah, I think that's interesting story sih, Sabrina, because what I'm thinking, yes, during pandemic give us some benefits, yeah, in terms of the business on for some parties. And I think when we are talking about the advertising, the one thing that we need to really understand about how we create the advertising during pandemic on the online channel, beside the creativity itself, I think the most important is we have a very good storytelling, and I think that's why 10 people buy the sport car easily, because I think you put the very good styling on it,
Yes,
not only the beautiful visual on digital banner, for example.
you
I think
can
you,
read my mind, yeah, Hardian.
I think you have a very good storytelling. That's why motivate the consumer to buy the product, how whatever the expensive it is.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, I think that's really important,
yes,
because if we just
yes. That's
rely
true.
on to
That's the
is it,
secret. Actually, that's
yeah,
the
the
secret.
storytelling, I think, because yeah, it's very difficult for us if we just to
Yes.
rely. We need to have a, for example, if we are in the what we call in the traveling industry, and then we need some creativity to create the good visual, to create a good video advertising. Yeah, for sure we need to expose our traveling side. Yeah, but I think we cannot use another way. Yeah, give the good storytelling without conflicting with the brand values itself. Yeah, I think that's the key, storytelling.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key from Hardian. Everyone should listen about it. Yeah, because even though, yeah, maybe you're from the brand side also, so about the influencer and KOL, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
very happening.
Yeah.
Everyone is using influencer and KOL. But what I saw from the agency, yeah, using the influencer or KOL is also about storytelling.
Yeah.
It's not just using the list of influencer. not just
Agree.
using the list of
Agree.
influencer and doing the
Agree.
hard selling like I love this coffee or I love this
Yeah.
blah blah blah. I think it's very boring. I think it's already at, and I don't want to show that. I don't want to know, as an audience. But it's about storytelling,
Yeah.
as you see. It's about how to make this storytelling as a gimmick, as like
Yeah.
example like siapa namanya, someone just yeah, we make the story like um someone married and then have a kid, and then what they are doing is it's about story, it's about sometimes comedic story,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes about lovely family story, and then you put the brand very soft selling,
Yes.
Why? Because everyone, yeah, in this pandemic, yeah, it's because of the pandemic, yeah, everything it's because of the pandemic. So the changing trends, as an audience, yeah, I always put myself as an audience, is I just want to hear about the other people's story. It makes us interesting. It makes me happy, It makes me feel content to see
Mhm.
another people's story, to see another people life. Everyone just very happy to hear about everyone's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It
Agree.
makes them feel content.
Yeah.
So I think for the influencer, for all the campaign in Indonesia should have a good storytelling that touch the human heart, that
Yes.
touch the human people. That
Yeah.
that is the important things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's just the key,
Yeah. That's
for all
touch.
the creative.
Yes, it touched the emotional part of the our consumer, because as I know that our consumer getting smarter. I mean, they can really understand which brand really uh, speak by heart. I mean, which brand is only like having artificial marketing. So there's a lot. I mean, during the pandemic, I cannot deny there is a lot brands doing the artificial marketing and riding pandemic as a marketing opportunity. That's why when we have a truly we have authentic storytelling, key message to our brands that align to our brand values, I think the consumer will value our brand more, and at the end they will purchase and being loyal to our brand. I think that's the point. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a question for question. This maybe Hardian will answer for the question one. A general view how the organizations execute their advertising during the pandemic.
Yep.
I think we already answered that
Yes.
question.
Yeah. Basically, first thing first, that please do not use pandemic condition becoming your uh, opportunity for your marketing activities.
Mm.
Just being true to your heart, just being true to your brand values, and then because our consumer will value what you do, will see what you do. So please do not being opportunistic on during these tough times. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's all, Sabrina, from my side.
Yes. Okay. So I will answer for the question number two.
Mm-hmm.
Is creativity impact during the pandemic?
Yeah,
Creativity impact during the pandemic. So I think that's what we talk about, the
yeah,
Hardian.
yeah, yeah.
It's about the creativity, yeah. Very impact
Yes,
during the pandemic, right?
yeah,
It's like you have to think more about the creative because everything is on digital, everything is on online, and how to touch the human or our audience is by our creative. So it's very important things in every campaign for the brand, for
yeah.
everything. It's about the creative, how you can touch the human touch point, yeah, for for your audience, how to have a good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think what we can say is like the most important things for the campaign in the pandemic is about the creative, even though you cannot measure,
Yeah,
even though you cannot measure, yeah, it's a good creative
agree,
or not. But
agree.
if it touch your audience, if it if it being a share of voice,
Yeah.
I think you can see that it's a good creative.
Yeah.
So sometimes for all the campaigns that I'm doing, I always saw for the creative, yeah, I always saw from the share of voice if they talk about the campaign, if they talk about this, I think it's a good campaign. I think it's a good creative. So I think now we can measure about the creativity by share of voice, you know.
Agree. 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 Agree.
Okay, so this is the question number 3 from a look at different touch point and technology.
Mhm. Okay, you are going first or me?
Question number 3, you first, and then I'll give.
Okay. Maybe from my side, I think that I think we realized that during the pandemic, the pressure for brands for getting sales is getting higher because we shut down our offline channels that basically play roles for the uh, the product purchase is going shut down. So I think the key things is we are having omni-channel strategy during the pandemic. But again, once we have omni-channel strategy, remember we have to balance between which channel that we to have a role as a brand building and which channel that has a role to product purchase. So we have to combine this role in our omni-channel strategy. And then second things is once we create omni-channel strategy, please look back to uh, our consumer journey and also understanding the data behind that. Because again, it would be useless if we create omni-channel strategy but again we do not look our consumer behavior, our data. I think it will be useless. I think that's from my side. Sabrina, what do you think?
Yes, maybe I was just like added something for the technology and different touch
Mm.
point. And
Mm-hmm.
this pandemic is like very dynamic. It's very every day is like there is something new every day as
Yeah.
um in digital business, yeah, in a digital agency, in our business, in our industry is very dynamic. So every you have to learn every day about the new technology, like
Yeah.
the NFT, like the metaverse, or I got it also the client for the NFTs. Like, okay, I have to
Mm-hmm.
learn about this. Okay, I have to learn about this. So it's like you have to adapt. You have to adapt because there is always something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
There is always something new
Yeah.
every day. It's for the
Yeah.
technology, it's for the innovation, it's for the adaptation from the pandemic. So you have to open your eyes and learn to do and learn to hear something new every day. It's about
Yeah.
the
And
technology
quickly.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
quickly. It's
Yeah.
very quickly. Like, oh my god, it's very like even though TikTok, right? Like from TikTok, yeah, yeah, they just videos just for entertaining, and then now the ads, and then now you can shopping from TikTok. It's like, okay, what you want to do again? Like
Yeah.
you can do everything in the apps. Okay, so I think it's like, yeah, there's always something new in technology every day. Yeah, every
Yeah.
day.
Agree. Agree. Agree.
Okay, so I think it's time to we make a summarize
Okay.
from the advertising in the pandemic. So how company use this COVID as a marketing tool. Maybe Hardian will
Okay.
summarize first.
So I think there is three things for me. First, again, a pandemic is not a marketing opportunity. Again, if we create something for our consumer in terms of advertising or marketing activities, please look back to our brand values. Is that line or not? Is that truly coming our heart or not? So don't be opportunistic. That one thing because the brand value is above anything. I mean, it's everything. The second things is during the pandemic, agree we have a very lot of limitation to create the creativity, but the brands also have the powerful weapon exactly to create something meaningful to our consumer, that is storytelling to deliver our brand message. So I think yes, creativity is one thing, but again, focus to your storytelling. What do you want to say to your consumer? Because in this tough condition, your consumer really wants to know how you can help them get through this hard condition. And lastly, I think Sabrina, from my side, again, even though during this pandemic or the new normal, everything goes to online, but I believe in the future the combination, as you mentioned, online to offline, or we call it like omni-channel, it would be perfectly it should be seamless. It means like we need to really understand our consumer journey to create the omni-channel strategy that fit to our consumer. I think that's a tricky point from my side, Sabrina. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hardian. It's really good to talk to you.
Me too. Thank you,
Okay, maybe
Sabrina.
for we should talk again, okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just I think Hardian already said all the main point, yeah, for
Mhm.
the advertising pandemic. It's just as a business owner, maybe all I can say is just you have to put the old values behind,
Yes.
and you have to make innovation, and also you have to adapt.
Yep.
I think the three things is yeah, that you said: reject the old values, reject innovation, and adaptation. So I think adaptation and innovation is the key
Hmm.
to be a successful still,
Yeah.
to be a successful in this pandemic. What we have to do is put in your mind that pandemic is a blessing. We can use this
Yeah.
as an opportunity to grow our company by using
Yeah.
it as our marketing strategy.
Yep.
I think that's for me. And thank you so much, everyone. It's
Thank
such a
you.
good talk.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Sabrina, and everyone.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sabrina and Mas Hardian, for the panel discussion today. Thank you so much. It's interesting, discussions we have today. So thank you very much. But we have to move to next session. So yeah, I hope you guys, all the participants, could get more perspective, from the panel discussions. Thank you very much. See you next time, Sabrina and Mas
Thank
Hardian.
you.
Thank you. Let's
Bye
move to next
bye.
session.